Yo guys, Tornado here. Today I want to showcase another great developer. I think quite a bit of people already know about this guy. It's Analog Obsession, and he remakes some of the coolest analog looking and analog sounding plugins that I know of. Let's dive into it and see what we have. I'm using a fair bit of the plugins, not all of them, of course, at the same time, especially. But yeah, I'll disable this one for now. What we have at the moment is a pretty, okayish quick demo. Chill wave, whatever. I've put the clipper here just because some of the plugins, like this one especially, will increase the loudness. This is the Graphical EQ. I'm not sure which specific modal it's made after, but there's some sort of hardware modal. Yeah, I've kind of dialed in some of this stuff already. Let me try and, reset it. Double-click resets. That's like, I really love developers who do that. This guy does it, and that's awesome. So for now we have quite a prominent increase in loudness, both subjective and objective. But yeah, this acts as both as EQ and a saturation thing. There's some saturation stuff going on in there. What else do we have? I love this thing. I think it was reworked and made into part of a different plugin combined of different pedals, different preamps and distortions and whatnot. But I think you can still get this one from the older posts on Patreon. I will, like as usual, I will link everything in the description. Yeah, this thing is quite heavy. Simple and effective. Let's go for some compressors, probably. Voila, it's like leveling amplifier. Yeah, it just does what it says, but also I'm not sure if you can hear, but there's a subtle, very subtle kind of saturation going on whenever you put signal almost through any of these plugins, because it's modeled after a hardware thing. And we can, turn on the limiter. This is like the sidechain control. You can also input external sidechain, but I'm not going to do it right now. I also really liked this guy. It's a spectral compressor modeled by, not after some sort of a specific hardware, but, the guy was working on so many units already, and he decided to make something that he himself enjoys. And it actually sounds quite good. with 30-ish milliseconds, you can actually hear all the transients of the kick drum, of the hats. It's like, wow, very good stuff. I usually put it not on the whole mix, but on drums. Alternative to like some other compressors that I use for drums. I forgot to show another one. I've already got it here. It's on the snare, if I'm not mistaken. It's a room reverb. Yeah, pretty good one. You have post EQ for the reverb signal only, and like, you're not affecting the dry one. So quite useful, especially for those old school 80s drums kind of thing. Other stuff. We have some channel strips as well. It's like another compressor, the dual one. You can select VCA, FET compressor, or opto, or all three together, and it's like you can also go very heavy with this compressor. And yeah, usually attack I like to put somewhere in between 20-30 milliseconds just to allow some transients. Yeah, beefs up the sound really good. Let's look at some channels. This is the bridge channel. Okay, now this is the fun part. It has like low pass, high shelf, and some EQ stuff going on, but you can actually drive the signal really nicely in here. Like pretty much in almost every plugin you can do that. Analog Obsession does it very well. Without clipping. There's a gain compensation behind this mechanism. It's really good stuff. Yeah, let's see, maybe we can go into some other things. If I'm not mistaken, this is the guy that auto levels the input-output signal, and you just kind of increase some specific frequencies, but the RMS overall stays the same. You have one selectable band, and then these two are like 15 kilohertz and 60 hertz. Those two are predetermined. Let me try, what, 2 kilohertz maximum everything and see what happens. Oh, it's not even for level matching, it's for actually driving the signal again. Like level matches the same thing, but just gets more saturated. Yep, great stuff. Distox is probably one of the most fun ones. It's like, you guessed it, distortion. And there's like 7 types of it. Some amplifiers, some tubes, and yeah, you can go crazy with that. Sometimes auto gain compensation kicks in like way too hard. You can see that the signal on the most input is probably a bit more quiet compared to the original one. But yeah, you can just boost it anyway later on in the signal path. But the sound, the saturation itself is like, it's top-notch stuff. Very much recommended. Go check out the website. He recently renewed it. Basically, previously it was just Patreon. Now it's both website with some better explanation and presentation on different kinds of plugins he makes, and the Patreon, which is more chaotic because it's just like goes chronologically as he updates and makes new ones. So it's kind of harder to search for specific things. Oh, I have probably forgot one more. The one thing that I like a lot. It's a Pultec remake thing. And it's also very good, and it can also be overdriven. And it's like, yeah, I love what this dude does. I use his stuff sometimes, not always. But like there are specific cases where I want that specific situation or that specific feature. Yeah, and in this case for bass, the so-called Pultec trick is really good in here. The sub goes way differently compared to not using the Pultec thing. Basically, if you don't know, the Pultec trick is you pick, depending on the source material, a specific frequency in the low end, and you both boost and attenuate it so that the curve looks kind of like a boost on the sub and slight dip afterwards in the like 100 to 200 hertz area. Yep. This is good stuff and very much recommended. Guy releases all that stuff for free. And there's a lot to go through. Like, he has many plugins. He have remade some of these plugins. Like I said, Zupa is probably one of those that were redone into a bundled plugin of different distortions and pedals. But yeah, I still use this one as a standalone. It's pretty good. Go check it out. Have fun. Hope it was helpful. Cheers. Bye-bye.